three goalies in Sweden right now for the Minnesota Wild. We've got the legend, the surefire first ballot Hall of Famer, Marc-Andre Fleury. We have Philip Gustafsson, whether you call him Gus Bus or Phil Bustafson, we don't know yet.
Oh my God.
Whatever gif you want to throw in from Billy Madison is certainly applicable. Then we got Jesper Wallstedt. Who do you want to see play against Ottawa, and who do you want to see play against Toronto?
I'm at the point. I mean, I just you brought him over there. Throw him in there. Throw him in there for a game. Like, he is once again, by the way, doing his absolute thing in Iowa, where like they the start of this season, they were looking subpar. And like, I mean, bad, but he has not skipped a beat. He's stepped in and really kind of saved their ass a few games. And then all of a sudden they started winning again. And he is back all the way on his bullshit. I think he's like a 930 something, maybe a 940 in the AHL right now. He's like, I think he's 6-2 or whatever. 2 more shutouts this year. Like, this kid is unfucking believable.
Sean Cosgrove, I thought he couldn't play unless someone was injured for cap reasons. Do we just immediately assume that, like, is Dean just gonna like shatter one of John Merrill's kneecaps, or
he's gonna he's gonna punch Darby really hard and say, well, he's on IR, does this count? And they're gonna say, yeah, sure, that works. And then Wallstedt's gonna step in and shut out immediately.
First off, Darby is well conditioned. He is not going on the IR for taking a shot from Dean. If we've seen anything, it's that.
Yeah.
Who was in the scenario that he can play? Which guy are you not playing? Are you sitting the Hall of Famer, or are you sitting the Swede?
I think with how it's going, it doesn't really fucking matter. But the fact that they're in Sweden, I'm sure that would go like you play both Swedes if that is to happen. I guess again, these cap rules are fucking so goddamn brutal. I hate having to like factor this into like, hey, can they even play this guy? Can this guy technically be on their active roster? Like, it drives me fucking crazy because it just takes away all the fun in like throwing these scenarios out there. So I'm gonna pretend the cap doesn't exist, and I would love to see him just get a game. Because
continue swooning on him. Go.
I mean, he's now like this start that he's on, like this is by far, well, not even by far, because he lit it up both years he's been in Iowa. He lit up last year, I mean. Fun fact, he made 999 saves last year. He was 1 away from 1,000 save. But he is playing the best hockey I've seen him play in, because like even when like his draft year or the year after he got drafted in Sweden, he'd have a game where he's up and down or whatever. Like right now he's had one bad game where they got fucking shelled. But he is locked in. And again, like he has saved their ass on so many fucking occasions. Like the timeline really is at this point working out perfectly well. Like obviously you would like to would have been better if one of Fleury or Gustafsson was at least keeping their head above water at this point. But again, we said this, he got drafted and I said 2 years, 3 years, whatever. And I think he'll be ready to go. Like I'm at the point now where like, let's say this continues with Fleury and Gustafsson, depending on the salary cap. Like, I think that they would be comfortable if they needed to call him up for a short spell. I could see that happening. And then honestly, him keeping a spot, because just like the thing that we've always said about him is how smart he is. And it's not the fact that he's making like these crazy flashy plays or whatever. It's just the fact that he's so poised that already knows where the puck's going to be, like can read shooter. Like he does all of the things that really make a successful goalie, where you're not like, it's not like a Fleury thing where he's diving across the crease. This year, not making the saves, but when he was like doing that shit. But I could see that happening depending on the cap.
Well, so here's my question though, Z. because I agree with all of that. Like, he is a goalie that sees the game right. He's going to be in the right position. He's not making these crazy athletic saves. I'm okay with him getting like a few games. Do you worry about him, current state of the Minnesota Wild, playing long-term behind this brutal defensive scheme? Like,
yeah, I would. Yeah, and I would say that about any
him and crush his confidence.
Right. Yeah, of course. But at the same time, I also look at it too, like he's had a lot of the same issues in Iowa. Fortunately, they're playing AHL teams, so it's obviously
different. Yeah,
different. Yeah, of course it is. But I'm saying,
he's saying
I would be less worried about a goaltender like Jesper Wallstedt who plays the way that he plays. Because I mean, even dating back to when he was playing in Europe, that fucking Luleå team that he was on was absolutely fucking brutal defensively. Pretty much everywhere he's gone, he has just had issues in front of him. And just like hearing people who have been around him forever, how he's been, not just like a recency thing where it's like anyone in the Wild organization would be like, oh yeah, he's always like, obviously no one's like, I don't know, he's kind of a fucking basket case when things go wrong. But it's like the past like 4 or 5 years, one of the main commentaries around him is just the fact that he is a very level head. He's not a kid that like at no point in his career has things like what this defense core could do to his confidence. That's never really been an issue with him. Like, so I would be worried about any young goaltender behind this fucking defense core right now with the state of things. But I'm less worried about a kid like Jesper Wallstedt. Again, I would love for them to be able to let him do a full year in Iowa again, let him do his thing, and then we'll see what happens next year. Obviously, like that is option A and B.
Option J.
But it's just with where they're at right now, it's just like, I mean, at this point, why the fuck not?
That's the thing. If we weren't scoring goals and the blue line looked the way we expect the blue line to look, totally different scenario for me. But current state of the union, I don't like it.
I would imagine that's their thought process as well. I would imagine, like, I mean, are we really going to do this? Like, that would be like the worst.
Guys, he's fucking 20 years old. Don't do it.
It would be like the worst possible phone call, like calling the guy up. It's like, hey man, listen, normally this would be exciting. You're good and bad news. We'd like you to come up. You're going to make your NHL debut. You're going to be on the front lines, right in the trenches. It's going to be insane. It's going to be scary. But congratulations, kind of, I think a little bit, but Brock Faber's cool and he's really good. So if he's on the ice, he should be fine.
Yeah, no, immediately. Like, yeah. Follow-up question. Thoughts on Brock playing 40 minutes a night? Bill's like, we've thought about it. We love the idea. We're worried how that'll work over the course of a season. Now, can you imagine, though, if they actually posted that video like they did with the Rossi and Addison pump-up videos? That aged super well, by the way.
The camera would go to Bill Garrett. He's got, like, the biggest fucking bags under his eyes. He's, like, balding. He's like, hey, man. He's, like, trying to not cry. He's like, congratulations.
Dude, they go over there. He's brown bagging. He's just pulling from the bottle, and he sees the camera. He's like, the fuck? Throws it at him.
We've called you up and we've hired you a sports psychologist for what's about to happen. We
got you three of the world's best sports psychologists. Like 3? Yeah, you'll understand.
You'll see what you get. You'll get it.
It's fine.